Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Unbettable. I know we've been on a little bit of a hiatus. We've all had family stuff going on with the holidays, so we hope you had a great Christmas, great Hanukkah, Happy New Year, all the above. We're back. We're talking football. That's about all you're going to get this episode. It's the big football episode. I know we're going to talk the championship this week or next Monday. We're also talking NFL Week 18. Holmes has some incentive plays that we should talk about. And we'll kind of preview our thoughts on the awards, little couple things here and there, and bingo bango, we're done for the day. So kind of a quick episode. I don't think we'll go too in depth. But we'll preview all the games for this weekend today, just to kind of condense everything a little bit. But boys, how was your break? How's New Year's? What's going on? Holmes, we'll start with you.
Went well. We are happy to be back. I know I put out a solo episode like a few days ago for picks before the semifinals weekend. I was honestly not that bad. So we'll leave it at that. We will go over the picks when we get back down to it, but happy to be back on the pod with the boys.
Gear?
yeah, kind of a lot, bro. First things first, I'm officially an intern at Big Dog Media. Shout out to Mondo for hooking me up. Shout out to UF for actually approving it. Got a lot of big things that I want to do in the next few months. Potentially get some merch out, more consistent episodes, more special guests. I have plan on putting another pod together. Really want to build it up. And now it's my job to do so. So I definitely take a lot more pride in it. Betting wise, if you've taken any of my picks in the last 2 weeks, I apologize. Um, I haven't been doing it. I don't know what it is. I was getting beat down in the group chat. Uh, and then I put out another pick that I thought would hit, and that one didn't hit. And then I bet the spread with the Bama game. Well, I actually had a three-way prop with it, and none of them hit. And then I was like, "Fuck it, we're betting the house on Texas." Threw $20 on Texas, and then that hit the fan. But yeah, new year, new me, new bets, more success, more life.
I think you left out the best part, which was you followed all those college football picks up with an 0 for 5 performance on the NFL slate on
Yeah, that
Sunday.
is true. That is
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, Gary, we've all been through that stretch this year. I don't know what it is, but this is by far the hardest year of betting I've ever had. I'm sure it kind of reflects to you guys too, but there's something in the air this year. People are struggling to, go on hot streaks and everything. I don't know what it is, but as far as the intern thing, Gare, I'm glad, we finally have you on board. You're going to get put to work, but it'll all be good developing this entire brand that we're trying to work on. So if you see tweets going out, assume it's Gare on the social media account because this man's going to take it over, refurbish it, and make it fucking pretty. Um, but yeah, he's got a bunch of ideas. We're going to sit down and talk through them probably either tonight or tomorrow, I would think, and just kind of see where his head's at, what the plan is. But yeah, welcome on, Gare. We got, a lot of stuff we're going to do, and I'm really excited for it. So, but other than that, let's talk bowl games. So, as you guys know, college football playoffs have been happening. Washington took down Texas, and Michigan took down Alabama. Two great games, both of which all you heard in the background was the FSU losers just kind of chirping away how they should have been in the playoffs. What you didn't see was the fact that they were covering up. They got blown out 63-3. So if you guys have any kind of comments on that, let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. So feel free to shit on them.
Yes, Georgia minus 19.5 in this game was one of the lightest bets I've ever placed in my entire life. I saw this spread continue to tick up like throughout the week. I saw it, I think originally started out at minus 14.5, went all the way up to minus 19.5. I was more than happy taking that. As long as it didn't hit 21, I was just trying to get a good number before 3 touchdowns. But turns out it doesn't really matter because that 60-point blowout, I think, is the biggest margin of victory in bowl history, if I am not mistaken. That was just a ridiculous game to watch, but it is one that I will say I did expect with a lot of the opt-outs and injuries that FSU had on their side. Georgia just came ready to play. They wanted to play that game. I do not believe whatsoever that FSU wanted to play that bowl game against Georgia.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Holmes. Props to Kirby Smart though after the game for what he said. Instead of kind of being like a conceited fuck, he was like, yeah, obviously there needs to be some reevaluation around bowl game culture, which I agree with. Like, I like the culture that he's instilled at Georgia. Like, he's obviously instilled a winning culture, because those fuckers always win. But he was talking about how, like, if you're playing for a team, you should play with that team through the very end. And I agree, especially since FSU wanted to chirp so bad about like not getting a shot at the Natty. Like that was your shot to prove to the world that you deserved a spot in that top four. And then 3/4 of your team opts out, and then of course, shit's gonna go sideways. Nobody expected it to go in their favor. So, I think that Kirby started the conversation, and I definitely think it needs to be talked about more.
Yeah, I talked about it a lot on Barroom Boys yesterday. Just if you opt out, like you're a pussy, and it's just the fact that you have no loyalty, no drive to support your teammates. Like it's just such a bad look. And if I were an NFL scout and I saw that you're just very quick to pull the trigger on, giving up on your team to be all about me, 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 bro, you're scratched the fuck off my list. Like without a doubt. It just makes no sense that we're starting to embrace this culture of opting out. You are ruining like everything good about college football bowl games. And it's just such a bad look for you, your personal brand, the team, just everyone involved. I never understood it. I hated it from the beginning. Just makes no sense to me and it just looks terrible.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Holmes, you got anything else to add to that?
Pretty much just that. I mean, I think the whole thing that frustrates me with the entire bowl season is that everybody wants to say that, oh, like, we're gonna opt out and save ourselves for the transfer portal, or we're gonna go to the NFL draft, or we're gonna do this and that. I mean, one of the guys that I respect more than anything was Damian Pierce, because when he was, no doubt about it, last year on campus going to the draft, he said, "Bro, I'm a Gator. Like that's why I came to the school is to be a Gator. I'm gonna play and be in that game as my last game as a Gator. Like that's what I'm gonna do." I respected the hell out of that. And I wish everybody had that attitude. Because, yeah, Mondo, you're right. It is all about me, me, me. It's all about wanting to do what, yeah, is going to be best for you in the long term. And I get it. Like, everybody needs to look out for themselves at a point. But I think you just owe a little bit of that loyalty to be able to play in one game for your team and show a little bit of team spirit, a little bit of loyalty, a little bit of pride for the school you've been playing for, the school you transferred to help win. Like at least I don't know. I agree with you. I'm just so frustrated by it. It's hard to even put thoughts together about it.
Yeah, it's just like these colleges give you your shot at success and you turn your back on them as soon as it's convenient for you.
Yeah.
Like I've hated that about opting out. I've hated it about the transfer portal. I just think we're in the softest era of football you could have ever been in, and it's just absolutely pathetic. It really is. There
And
is no loyalty in football, a sport that was literally built by loyalty.
yeah,
So,
I think the conversation goes even deeper than talking about loyalty. I think that this culture shift that we're watching happen in college football right now also has to do with NIL. I think that players do deserve to reap the benefits of who they are and what they are and how they play. But everybody now is chasing a bag that isn't even guaranteed. It's just them trying to put their name out there. And if my team sucks, then I'm jumping ship. Cough, cough, ETN. Um, I
Mhm.
feel like that's something that we didn't get to talk about here, but definitely rocked the world of Gator Nation was watching our best running back jump ship to literally the enemy. Um,
Mhm.
so that's annoying. But yeah, I think that everybody's more focused on money and thinking about how much money they can make if they do something different, rather than, like Mondo said, supporting the team that made them who they are today. And that's just frustrating.
Yep.
Yeah. Instead of shitting on these weak-minded pussy football players, let's go ahead and talk the actual championship where nobody is sitting out because they care. Piece 1 and 2 together. If you stay in, you care and you go further. Um anyway, obviously the elephant in the room, I have Washington at plus 1800 on a future and you have Michigan at what was the what amount did you have?
I couldn't
I had
even
a
tell
plus
you.
190, I think, when
Yeah,
for
it was.
Michigan when
It's
Gary gave it.
definitely way lower than Washington was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so needless to say, I am your sworn enemy for the next 5 days at least. Um, I have a chance to get a bag here, and you are the only one in my way. Let me make that very clear. So, as much as I love you, I will not hesitate to run through you.
Respected, respected. Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually just proud that I picked a team that actually made it to the finals. That's a good. That's something that I can think about after, I went 0 for 12 or whatever the past 2 weeks.
Mhm.
But I think we're in a good space for a really good Natty game. First time that a Natty hasn't had an SEC team since 2014. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely rooting for Bama because, even though we hate Bama, it's an SEC team, and I respect them just for making it to where they made it. But Michigan, bro, put up a huge fight, and then Michael Penix, bro, is just like a robot. Like he does
He
not
is,
miss.
bro.
So I think that it's gonna be a good watch.
Yeah, Holmes, you're kind of the most unbiased out of the two of us. So, where are you kind of leaning? What are your thoughts heading into the game? Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, two great semifinal games. That
Mm-hmm.
shit was electric.
Classics.
Getting to watch both of those games, both of them come down to the final play. Um, I think just this matchup in general is going to be interesting because Michigan has the number 2 pass defense in the country. Washington has the best passing offense in the country. So
Mhm.
that right there is going to be the matchup of the entire game. It's just going to be really weird to see which way it tips because Washington, obviously, if they get into a shootout, they feel way more comfortable because they're firing on all cylinders on offense. But if Michigan can drag Washington into just a slow rock fight under type of game, that's where they're going to feel more comfortable because they know their defense is more physical and dominant and just overall, I think, more talented than what Washington has. So
Mhm.
it's going to be a really fun game to watch at this point. I think I am going to be all in on Washington. I think that offense is too high powered. Like those wide receivers they have, how do you cover any of those guys? It is so difficult when they're shredding one of the best secondaries that they have played all year by far in Texas in a semifinal game. I mean, they made those cornerbacks and safeties look like shit. It was crazy. They were giving Texas nightmares all night long. So, as good as Michigan has been in their secondary and against the pass this year, name me a quarterback they have played better than Michael Penix Jr. And I will probably be sitting here for a long time before you can do that.
Yeah,
So I personally am going to be leaning Washington. I like what they have against the Michigan D. It's going to be a great game. But fuck being on a Monday night, bro. I hate that this championship game is always on a Monday night. It
that's
just pisses me
facts.
off.
It's such trash.
So
I was
stupid.
talking about it yesterday. Just the fact that the second semifinal started at 9 o'clock. Like, bro, what the fuck are we doing?
Oh, it's so
like,
whack. And it
like
really
as
only
much as I
did
want
that.
to stay up, like I'd rather go to bed.
Yeah.
like I'm just tired.
And it got pushed back. I mean, I know the start time was supposed to be 8:45 kick, like 8:55, whatever. And then with Michigan and Alabama going to OT, I mean, that just pushed it back even further because
Yeah,
they weren't about to start that game until the first one was over. There's no chance.
it's ridiculous. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game. Cannot wait. I also cannot wait for NFL Week 18. Holmes,
Yes.
you said you found something that you would like to share at the pod. So go ahead, bring it to the people.
Awesome. I encourage you all to take notes for about the next 5 to 10 minutes because I found this nice little tweet sent out by at we hit those underscore nine. So shout out to this guy for putting up the NFL Week 18 incentives cheat sheet. So all of these players have extra money on the line if they can hit certain milestones in their season. So we're gonna just go through this list, and these are props that you're definitely gonna want to keep your eye on because during this incentive week, a lot of players specifically get targeted, get yards, get tackles, do all this stuff to make that extra money. It is a lot of money towards these players' salaries. So let's go through them from top to bottom. I have a bunch that we should go over. First one, Odell Beckham. He needs 2 incentives. He needs 5 more catches for a $250,000 bonus and 185 yards for 750K. So 5 catches is a decent reception number. 185 seems kind of like a stretch. I don't know if he's going to get a 200-yard game, especially with Tyler Huntley playing quarterback, but 5 catches could be an interesting reception prop to go after. Chris Jones just needs 1 more sack for 1.25 mil extra.
Oh my God.
Austin Eckler needs 110 total yards receiving or rushing for 100K extra. Uh, DeAndre Hopkins only needs 49 yards for $1 million bonus. So DeAndre Hopkins, 50 plus receiving yards. That is a good alternate line to take on Hard Rock. He also needs 7 catches for 250K. 7 catches, it's kind of a lot. I mean, he does get targeted a lot in that offense because he's pretty much the best wide receiver they have. But that 49 yards for $1 million, I mean, that's a really nice one to target there. Darius Slayton, he only needs 1 more catch on the season for a $2.5 million bonus. Ridiculous. Gino, if the Seahawks make the playoffs and he's a starter, he will get an extra $2 million. So big money on the line for the Seahawks to win this week and make sure they're in the playoffs. Because if they win, I'm pretty sure they're in. If they lose, they're going to need help, all that shit. Dalton Schultz, he needs 4 catches for 250,000 and 6 catches for 500,000. Take a look at Dalton Schultz's receptions there. They might be targeting him a lot. Jordan Love, if the Packers make the playoffs, he can make an extra 500K. That's going to be a lot of money to young boy Jordan Love. So keep an eye on the Packers this week, trying to get a dub and get into the playoffs. Levante David, our boy, needs 1 more sack for 150K on the year. I like Levante David to get that. Devin Singletary, he needs 165 yards for 125. That's kind of a rough one there. I don't really think he's going to get near that. Jadeveon Clowney only needs 1 more sack for 750K. He has been having a great year this year, so definitely look at his sack numbers. Alexander Madison, this one's kind of tough. He needs 125 rush yards for 650K. I don't think he's going to get it. Ty Chandler is out snapping him right now. Madison looks like poop, so I would stay away from that. Calais Campbell, he needs 3 sacks for 500K. It's kind of a lot, so I probably wouldn't go for that either. And then Bud Dupree, he needs 2 sacks for $1 million. So that's not a bad one to take a look at. Those are all the ones that I found today. If I find any more of those cheat sheets or any more incentives, I will definitely talk about them on the Friday episode of the pod. Mondo, I said, I know you said you might not be here for that pod episode, but if I find anything like that, I'll put it in our group chat. I'll make sure you get that because this is definitely all great stuff to take advantage of this weekend. I'm telling you, this is the only incentive weekend for the NFL that you can take advantage of these lines because these are literally what players are targeting to make more money. If you had the chance to make more money by just doing a little bit extra on one day of work, don't you think you would do that too? I think there's a lot of motivation for these players out there. So definitely take advantage of those lines. Play it back, replay it, take notes, do what you got to do.
Yeah, and that guys, if you don't follow that information, like let me just put into perspective. This stuff, every time I bet it in the past 5 years, has cashed 63% of the time.
Nice.
Now, in the early years, a lot of that was parlaying. So just keep that in mind. But 63% of the time it hits. You are not wasting your money on these bets. If I had bet these straight up, it would probably be closer to 75, 80%. So do not overlook this. It is important for you guys to keep that in mind as you place your bets this weekend. With that being said, gentlemen, we have no Thursday night football. It's over. It's done with.
It is.
I don't really know what to do. What do I do with Thursday nights now?
Yeah, bro.
I got
Probably gonna
nothing.
have to be watching some NBA or something.
I'm gonna be watching the inside of my fucking eyelids, I guess. I
Oh
I
yeah,
have no reason to be awake on a Thursday night now.
100%.
So yeah, I got nothing. Maybe I won't tell Julie and I'll just be like, hey, yeah, let's do a movie night instead of Thursday night football just to spend some extra time together before the playoffs. Maybe she'll buy it, maybe she won't. She's
Nice.
not that stupid, but I don't know. So we'll see what we can pull off here, but I'm not too sure. But let's talk about the Saturday games. We obviously have a massive, massive, massive slate of games this weekend that matter a hell of a lot. So let's start Steelers, Ravens. We'll go through each game and then I will read you guys the exact kind of breakout of what's needed for who to win. And so yeah, Steelers, Ravens, Holmes, what are we thinking?
Well, currently the Ravens are underdogs. They're catching 3.5 points and are plus 165 on the money line on Hard Rock Bet. Um, this is really only this way because Tyler Huntley is playing. The Ravens are going to rest a lot of starters and try to get them healthy and good to go for the playoffs because they, I think, have locked up the number one seed. They're the best team in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
They've been rolling through their opponents, and I'm pretty sure the Steelers got to win and they're in. So part of me wants to just take the Steelers on the money line here because Mason Rudolph is 2-0. He's actually been pretty decent on the offensive side, kind of getting the Steelers cooking a little bit more compared to Kenny Pickett. But I don't also really want to bet against Tyler Huntley. I know he's actually a pretty good backup quarterback for the Ravens. He's been in the system long enough to be able to go out there and win a game, especially against a subpar Steelers defense. So right now I'll probably stay away from this game. I want to get some more information and maybe place a bet on this closer to game time, but not much for me right now. I do want to look at though. Oh, they don't even have it out yet. I was gonna look at the reception prop for Odell Beckham, but it is currently not out yet. They only have a few props out for this game. So when that comes out, I'm gonna definitely be looking at that because OBJ needs the incentives this week.
Gary.
Yeah, this week in the NFL is scary to bet on. Honestly, if there's a week that I would take off, it would be this week, just because a lot of games are pick'ems, in my opinion. But I was watching the Pat McAfee show today. JJ Watt was on there talking about Pittsburgh culture and how his brother talks about it. And they seem to really have a fire lit under their ass right now. And they really think that the Steelers are back. I don't really know if I would agree with that. Do I think they are better than they have been in the past few years? Yes. But Baltimore, I mean, is just dominant. Regardless of whether or not they sit Lamar, I think I would still take Baltimore plus 3.5. I mean, they're just rolling. There's not really much else to say about it. But both teams are rolling. So, take my opinion with a grain of salt, but I'm gonna take Baltimore plus 3.5.
Respect.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I really don't know what's going on in this game. I just know the Steelers are gonna come out and aim to win. And with that, I'm gonna take the Steelers -4. I know Huntley is a former, Pro Bowler, but at the same time, a lot of the starters are resting. You basically are putting all your faith in OBJ, trying to get his, incentives this weekend. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the Steelers in the game, but other than that, not really sure.
Fair.
On to the AFC South. We have Texans, Colts, Houston favored by 1, over under 47.5. Gary, what are we thinking? Gary's not really thinking. He
This
just
is
shook
what I
his.
was talking about with these pick'ems. I mean, the spread is literally 1 point. So I think this is a game where player props are what I would be looking for. And just for the sake of my fantasy team, as well as Devin Singletary getting his bonus, I'm gonna take Devin Singletary anytime touchdown. He hasn't really been the best recently. Mid is what I would place him in if I had to put him in a category for running backs. But I'm just gonna take a Devin Singletary touchdown here and call it a day.
Holmes.
Yeah, you know what, Gary? I actually like the Devin Singletary anytime touchdown pick. It's plus 115 right now. I feel like that's good value on there. All he's got to do is punch one in on the ground. I know it doesn't really have much to do with his yard incentives, but I still think that's a good player to target who at least is going to have something to play for in this game. For me, I think I'm just going to roll with the better vibes team. I know they're on the road, but I just feel better about the Texans right now. I feel better about CJ Stroud. I just think this is their year under D'Amico Ryans. Stroud was back healthy, looked good last week. I know the Colts also got a win last week, but they almost let the Raiders back in it. Almost let them pull one over on them. So even though the Colts are at home, I like the Texans to finish off their magical regular season here with a win and punch a ticket to the playoffs.
Yeah, love that. My only bet that I have secured in so far, in my head, because the lines are not out yet, is the Dalton Schultz over on receptions. We know he needs 4 to get that 250K bonus, 6 to get 500. So whatever that line is for receptions, I'm gonna hammer that over. That is a boy who deserves some money right there. So
absolutely.
we will we'll see where it goes from there. But I will send it to both of you to comment on the Bucks Panthers game. Tampa Bay favored by 4.5, over under 37.5. Take it away, boys.
Hey man, I am gonna probably do myself a favor and not bet on this game because when I'm betting on the Bucks are losing. Case in point, last week we had the chance to win the division. We have played so horribly in most parts of this season, and I've gone on a 4-game tear. Baker's looked absolutely fantastic, and all we have to do is beat the Saints, who have been subpar. And we did not even show up to play at home. Baker played abysmal. Coaching was non-existent. Just an all-around piss poor effort from a team that had the chance to clinch the division. So they better come to fucking play against the Panthers this week, and that's all I gotta say. Because I swear to God, if they find a way to trip up and blow this game, nah, we don't even deserve a playoff berth at that point. We don't even deserve a first round pick. We don't deserve a whole lot if we blow these last 2 weeks after being very close to guaranteed into the playoffs after a 4-game winning streak. So, Garrett, let me know your thoughts, bro, because I'm over this team right now if they can't get it done.
Hey, Todd Bowles, if we don't make it to the playoffs, you're fired. Know that. You were getting
Pass.
lit the fuck up on Twitter after that game. Props to Derek Carr though. Derek Carr was actually playing like an NFL quarterback, so I'll give him that. But I want to show y'all something because Mama Gare has actually been watching the pod, and I didn't know about this. So I want to show you a little jersey I got here, and I'm gonna flip it around. Bang.
Yeah.
Give me those.
Yes,
That's
sir.
I was texting Holmes when the Saints were getting just pooping on us, and I was like, at this point, give me Trask. And I was sitting at the bar in my Trask jersey, and everybody's like, "Who's Trask?" And I was like, "You don't know Kyle Trask?
They don't know, bro.
We might get to see him if Baker keeps shitting his pants, but." I'm gonna ride with the Bucks for this one. I'm gonna take the spread. The Panthers are dog shit. But somehow we always find a way to be poopier than the poopy team. I'm still gonna take the Bucks. I'm also gonna take a Mike Evans touchdown. Um, because I really don't see the Panthers locking him up like the Saints were.
Mm-hmm.
So book it. That's what I'm
I
doing.
like it. I'm not gonna go one way or another in this game. What I will take is Rachaad White anytime touchdown. We all know the Panthers D line is dog shit. They are absolutely fundamentally horrible. So with that being said, and you got a power runner like you do with White, this man is going to dominate the front five. I guarantee it. They do play five. It is the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be light work for him. The man's going to get an anytime touchdown probably in the first quarter. I wouldn't be shocked.
Are you serious? They play five?
Sometimes, yeah, they'll put five up front.
I've
Their
never.
team's stupid, bro. Their team is so stupid.
Yeah, like what they do makes zero fucking sense.
That's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, I wish I could like explain it to you. I can't. There's no reason for it.
Sad organization.
Yeah, down to the real Orange Bowl. We have the Browns and Bengals. Cincy favored by 7, over under 37.5. Gary, where are we sitting here?
I mean, both of these teams are some dark horses. Browns. We're talking about Bengals Browns, right? Sorry, I was looking at my.
Yes, you're good. That's correct.
Okay, so yeah, so I mean, the Bengals, I think that they have done great with what they have. So props to them. But the Browns, bro, without the fucking fondler, have been a team to watch. And I just plus 6.5. I don't really know about. I mean, Holmes, you give me some thoughts.
On Browns and Bengals, dude. I was gonna say
Yeah.
I don't even have a pick on this game. I have no idea what I should do here. I mean, at first glance, it seems like why the fuck should the Browns be underdogs? When Joe Flacco's been lighting shit up, but they just clinched the playoffs last week. I really don't think they have a whole lot to play for this week. And with the quarterback as old as Flacco, you probably want to rest him, I would assume. So I don't really know about like who's going to be playing, who's not going to be playing. This is a tough one for me. Um, if anything, I might even lean under. I know 37.5 is kind of low, but I mean, especially if you're going to have a backup quarterback come in like DTR behind Joe Flacco, if you're going to rest him, I still don't even trust Jake Browning if he's still going to play. There's so many unknowns, I think, for me in this game that I will likely stay away. If anything, maybe I'll find a weird prop or two to play, but this is too weird for me, I think.
Yeah. I like the
Yeah,
unders. Oh.
Gary, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying I like the thought of the under.
I do as well. Um, I'm just gonna need more information on who's sitting out. A lot of these games, I really have no decision yet, just because I don't
Mm-hmm.
know who's in and who's out.
Yeah,
So that's
it's gonna be
kind
tough.
of the tough part that I'm at right now. But if he's in, I'm taking Cooper over on receiving yards. If I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's I hate week 18 betting. I always have. But on to Vikings, Lions, Detroit favored by 3.5, over under 45.5. Holmes, what are we thinking?
I think it's been so weird to watch the Vikings and this quarterback carousel that's kind of been happening for the past few weeks. You know, you start out with Josh Dobbs, he has a bad game, then you turn to Nick Mullins, and he has a bad game. Then they play the rookie Jalen Hall last week. Now I think they're back to Nick Mullins this week. This is just starting to be a pretty unpredictable team for me. I don't think they would make any noise if they made the playoffs. So I might just stick again with the better vibes team here in the Lions. Like they've just, I know they really got screwed over against the Cowboys. Like that was a game that they should have won. It's a shitty call, kind of screwed them out of a game. I think maybe that gives them a little extra motivation to come out and firing all cylinders this last week and put a stamp on a division game that they need to win in to make sure they get themselves some good playoff positioning. I mean, I know they're in, but all they can do is help improve themselves at this point. So I think they're going to come back, look to absolutely squash the Vikings. I don't see the Vikings offense I don't see the Vikings offense move too well against the Lions. I'm just, it's not working out for me.
Gare?
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Sean, but your team kind of blows right now. So I'm gonna take Lions -3.5. And I also just learned from a buddy of mine that the ref crew that was working the Dallas Lions game is gonna be working the Steelers game. So if that sways your opinion on things at all, just think about
Brad Allen boys.
Brad Allen ass wipe.
Yeah, no, that doesn't really sway my opinion. The game's gonna be a shit show.
Yeah.
I will say for this Vikings Lions game, I think it's gonna be a Justin Jefferson masterclass. It's the final game of the season for them. You know they're gonna feed him the rock. It's what they always do. So I expect Justin Jefferson to hit the over in just about every category he can this week. With that being said, the Lions, it's one of those things like I don't really know what their plan is. Are they gonna rest a couple people? Are they gonna keep them starting for seeding things? Like I don't really know what the goal is for them. So it's another one of those games where I'm gonna have to wait on that. But I know for a fact I'm hammering Justin Jefferson props all weekend long. So that's where I'm at with that. Shall we go to the Jags Titans?
Yeah, let's just try. Let's start run through these games because I think we're all on the same page. We're gonna have to have more, I think, info by the time like Friday and Saturday comes around about who's playing and whatnot. And it sucks because a lot of these games don't even have props dropped yet. So I mean, that was the thing we just went over last segment and what we wanted to bet the most. So we're gonna have to wait for that to come out. I think a lot.
Yeah, so Jags favored by 5, over under 39.5. You guys know we're all hammering the D Hop over on yards, probably over on receptions too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Derrick Henry to have a good game here, as well as Travis Etienne, even though I hate his fucking brother. But you know, that's kind of where we're at. We don't have enough information to make any other judgment calls yet. So Gary, I'll let you to talk next.
Yeah, I like Derrick Henry props for this game. This could potentially be his last game with the Titans. So I think that he could potentially ball out, or he's gonna sit his ass down and not give a fuck anymore. But I don't really take Derrick Henry to be that kind of guy. I think he's gonna play his heart out. So potentially an anytime prop there, but this game is kind of one of those ones where I won't be watching it. So
Holmes.
Yeah, same for me. Just I'm going to be with you on those DeAndre Hopkins props when they drop Mondo. That incentive is going to be pretty big for him, so I'll be all in on that.
All right, Jets Patriots. New England favored by 2, over under 30.5. I will not watch this game. I will take a Brees Hall over on total yards. Holmes, take it away.
I will not even watch. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not watching a lick of this game. If anything, maybe I'd take a flyer on the Jets plus money. Actually, no. Why the fuck would I do that? New England at home. It's Bill Belichick's last game. Fuck no, I'm not betting against Bill Belichick. Never mind. Hammering the Patriots.
Gare?
no comment.
No comment.
All right, Falcons Saints. Saints need to win a couple miracles, and they are in. Favored by 3, over under 42.5. This will be the Falcons' potentially last game. Really, one of these two teams wins and another scenario happens, and they're in. So I do see Bijan having an incredible game this game. He is 948 rushing yards, I think, something like that, close to 950. I mean, dude, 52 yards, and he's got his first 1,000-yard season as a rookie. I don't know why he wouldn't hammer the over there. But other than that, I really don't have a read. New Orleans on paper is probably the better team. Falcons have always been terrible on the road. They're 2-6 this year, so I'd probably take the Saints plus the points would be my guess. Holmes, where are you leaning?
Yeah, if anything, I will ride the Saints here. I just think they have a little bit more motivation and a little bit more confidence after knocking off the division-leading Bucks last week.
Care?
Yeah, I'm riding with the Saints. I wish there was a way both teams could lose. But unfortunately that's not the case, so I'm taking the Saints.
Love it. Bears, Packers. Packers favored by 3, over under 44.5. I know we all saw that incentive sheet. Jordan Love wins. The boy gets an incentive.
Yeah.
Makes you think. I'm taking Green Bay in this game. Holmes, where are you at?
Short and sweet. Green Bay at home or riding.
Care?
This game is looking a little trappy. If you ask me, +3, -3. I know every game in this slate looks trappy. But I'm gonna use my trademark Gary gut feeling on this one take, and I'm taking Chicago +3.
Wow. Wow.
That gut feeling got you kicked out of the betting chat.
That was the
Right.
first time that it really backfired, but
Yeah,
this
that was
time
bad.
we'll see what happens. I like +3. I don't know what it is. Maybe some Gary gut feeling merch in the future. I was thinking about that the other night. That's
All right.
I would buy.
Broncos, Raiders, battle the ball sack. Not really much to talk about here. Raiders favored by 3, over under 38.5. I really don't give a shit about this game. Gary, what do you have?
Yeah, I think I got what you got, Mondo, which is not give a shit itis. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would potentially look at is the over under 38. Maybe an under there, but that's really about it.
Okay, Holmes.
I'm not betting a cent of my money on this game. This game sucks.
All right. Eagles, Giants. Eagles favored by 5, over under 41.5. Again, this is just one of those games that, people are going to be sitting. Eagles have nothing really to prove here. With that being said, I'm going to take the Saquon Barkley over on total yards. It's the same kind of feeling as Justin Jefferson last game of the season. They're going to give the boy the rock. It's just that simple. So, Holmes, what are you thinking?
I feel like it looks kind of short at -4.5. Might take a play on them. I'll probably wait on that, but probably another game I'm not going to watch too much. I care very little about the Giants, but Eagles need to get a win and get off their schneid. So I might take a -4.5 here to get it against the Giants.
Gary.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on behind Eagles closed doors, but it can't be good because what's been happening to them these past 4 or 5 weeks has just been kind of sad to watch. It could be Kelsey's last year if they keep doing the shit they're doing right now, which would kind of suck. But he's also been looking kind of shaky with his snapping, so it's kind of a weird team. I'm gonna take a -4.5 though, just because I feel like they need this win to get off of this like cold snap they're on. And also the Giants just suck. So I'm gonna take Philly -4.5.
Love it. Seahawks, Cardinals, battle of the birds. There it is. The only play I have right now, James Conner needs 110 yards to reach 1,000. The boy could definitely do it this game, so I'm going to take the over on rushing yards for him. As far as a play here, Seahawks -2.5 seems like a lock. I mean, they win, they have a good chance of getting in, so going to stick with that. But Holmes, what are you thinking?
Yeah, same for me. I'm probably going to hammer Seahawks -2.5. They make the playoffs and Gino gets a bonus. So we're going to take the Seahawks to try and win here.
Yeah.
Seahawks all the way, even though Arizona did pull off a crazy ass stunt last weekend. Shout out to them for that. But I'm taking the Bluebird for this game, not the red. Bluebird, Redbird, or Greenbird.
Chiefs Chargers favored by 3.5, over under 35.5. I mean, yeah, again, this is going to be a shitty game. Everyone's going to take the Eckler play. I feel like that's the only thing to talk about here. So hammer Eckler. Other than that, I mean, maybe Isaiah Pacheco. Dude needs, I think, like 65 more yards to reach 1,000. So maybe look at the over on his rushing yards if he's playing. I really don't know. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting. Gary, where are you sitting?
Uh, I'm sitting right in the middle of this because I want to see both these teams play. I feel like this game is going to be a dogfight. I also like how Kansas City has become this team that not everybody is dick riding anymore. They hit a
Love
reality
it.
check this season. And people have realized that Patrick Mahomes is a whiny ass little baby, which I think is kind of funny, all the memes that have come out of that. But I'm sitting here rambling and I don't even have a pick for it, because I'm not gonna make a pick on this game. So
Okay. Holmes.
Nah, no pick for me. I'm just gonna be riding Austin Eckler props when they come out.
Love it. Rams, Niners. This is going to be a terrible game. I do not recommend you guys watch it. Teams on both sides have pulled their starters, so not really worth your time at all. With that being said, Niners favored by 4, over under set at 41.5. Probably going to take that under. You guys got anything here?
Hell
No.
no.
All right. Cowboys, Commanders. I'm assuming the Cowboys are going to maybe sit some of their team. I really don't know. They're favored by 13 right now, over under 45.5. They do sit their players, look to bet the Commanders in that spread. Um, again, we'll fucking see. I really don't know. I don't have an answer here. So, you guys got anything there?
Nah, maybe Sam Howell to throw a pick in the game, but again, gotta wait for those props to come out.
yeah,
Okay.
I like Washington plus 13 here. I feel like that's a pretty big margin for a week 18 game. Um, but big margins could be misleading sometimes because they could be like, hey, hammer me, or be like, hammer me and lose everything. But I like Washington plus 13 here.
Yeah. All right, on to easily the biggest game of the weekend, and I'm not even trying to be biased here. Bills Dolphins is absolutely massive. That's why I got put in the primetime slot. Buffalo's favored by 3, over under set at 49.5. Let me clue you guys into a couple things here. The Bills are terrible on the road at 3-4. Dolphins are amazing at home at 7-1. Tyreek Hill is 283 yards away from the MVP. Tua is 2 touchdowns away from 30. That is also a big kind of incentive for quarterbacks. And this is the battle for the AFC East title. I will not be betting because, Holmes, I am in the similar situation as you, where if I bet on my team, they do not perform. But if I were to bet, it would be the Dolphins, and I would hammer the Dolphins in this game.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills are going to choke. It is what they do. They are going to choke. I'll let you guys take it from here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I heard the Dolphins were gonna wear their all white uniforms. I heard they're 8-0 in those all white uniforms at home. So with that logic, I will probably be riding the Dolphins.
It's so facto, brother. It's so facto.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think the Dolphins have lit a fire in SoFlo this year. And it's not a bad fire, it's a great fire. It's a fire they needed. Um, and it's a fire they've been looking to start for a couple years now. And I think it's officially lit. You got Tua jumping on all cylinders. And let me say, last week, I don't think is an accurate representation of who the Dolphins are as a team. As much of like a SoFlo sports hater as I am, I think that they are a great team. I think they have a lot of potential. And all year I've been talking about how Buffalo is just mid. And they started rolling a little bit, but I think this is where they're gonna hit a roadblock. They're gonna be sitting out in the sun all fucking day. And I hope it drains the shit out of them because I am hammering Miami money line at plus 130. I'm not taking that +3 spread. Fuck it, we're going balls to the wall with this one, and we're gonna cash out.
Love
Nice.
it. Yeah, that's the preview for this week. Remember, keep the incentives in mind. Boys, do we have any NBA plays tonight? What's the scoop here?
I am empty for tonight. Nothing for
I
tonight. I
I
will
am
be back
also
at it
in.
on Friday.
Garrett, you got anything?
Nope, but I got fish tacos waiting on me.
Oh,
All right, fucker. Go enjoy your fish tacos. If you did enjoy this episode, please like, subscribe, share with everyone you know. These two will see you guys for Friday's episode, which will come out Saturday. I will not be here. But I will see you guys bright and early Tuesday morning. So peace.
peace.